Hi lovelies and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate you guys are the way MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright, lovelies, let's dive in. So, lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I want to share with you guys where these pan colored people actually thought that it was all about them, but they actually got disappointed. They were thinking that everything that is happening, that we are not even aware that we can actually keep trusting them. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright, lovelies, let's dive into it.
I am also quite offended. It just shows that white people have so much privilege.
We're all the same, right?
Please don't disturb as she's speaking. Yes. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but my voice is not land. You can't colonize it. So for me, white people have so much privilege to be able to avoid talking about topics like this. Because you said racism is a difficult conversation for you to have. Black people do not have the privilege of avoiding the conversation because they live in those conditions. Their entire beings are tied to that, and they somehow have to make it out of the townships. They have to make it big for their family. And then added on top of that is the guilt that so many successful black people feel because they don't believe they deserve that success, while the rest of their family is at home, still under this big boot of the white man. So no, please don't tell me that white people do not owe us an apology, because they do. And they have never given us that apology.
We need to understand, all of us in this room, that the amount of wealthy black people in this country, and they are astronomically low. 15% of this country is living on 90% of the wealth. And I can tell you that 15% is not made up of majority black people.
It is, according to Stats SA.
No, that's nonsense. Please.
I got this.
Get off the crack pipe, man.
You've got to stop disturbing us when we speak. You have had an opportunity to talk, and we do let you speak, and we do let you finish your point. But your privilege comes in when you have the audacity to speak over me and think that you have the authority to do so.
You have the audacity to say things that aren't true. And pretend that they are true, and pretend that you have authority because of your race.
I'm not saying that I have authority because of my race. What I'm saying is that I'm trying to correct the misinformation and disinformation that is coming out of your mouth. Now listen to the words that I'm saying, and if you have a counterpoint, come with it afterwards. Points that I was saying is that the amount of black people that have access to wealth in this country is astronomically low. But when you look at the people who are controlling the means of production that actually bring the wealth in this country, those are white people. Those are white men.
What's your source?
Stats SA would be a starting point. You can go to people like Oxfam. I mean, even someone who can never be associated with us or be called our friend, Goldman Sachs. If you go through their site, you can go to IMF, for goodness sake. Their report on inequality in South Africa, they will
inequality is great.
Gentlemen, hold on, because Ayanda did want to finish her point.
And the reason that I always say that there's information in power is because you also mentioned Pe.Ple, right? And I want to just emphasize to people that here on the African continent, where's my camera? Here on the African continent, we were living well before white people came here. We had a history before colonialism.
Right.
As Gabriel said, black people are not a monolith. And that is true, we are not a monolith. And so this notion that we were fighting amongst each other and fighting amongst ourselves and white people came and corrected us is something that is simply not true. And that is the myth of Pe.Ple that needs to be corrected.
I think Gabriel, he doesn't want to listen. And I've noticed a lot of white people are like that.
Yes.
They refuse to listen. You are telling them, as a black person, this and this is what I want. This and this is how you can fix it. But white people refuse, and instead they say, oh no, this is hurting my feelings. And they turn it into something about them again. Looking at international standards even, Britain owns so much of South African artifacts, as it is, up until this day.
Yes.
They have barricaded themselves with laws, Museum Acts, National Heritage Acts, just to protect artifacts that belong to us. So it's not that we're just fighting white South Africans, but we're fighting international bodies too, who are still trying to step on us. So you coming here as a white person telling us you have no right to feel this way is a huge insult.
Mark Banks, what do you want to say as the only other white person in the room?
Well, I'm going to kill myself right now. I'm going to plug this chair in, and you will turn it on, and I will just...
I might hold on to the metal bars.
Lexi, how many times did I call you? Oh, did she eat or did she eat?
I've been very concerned lately about China and sort of they are now all over Africa, buying things and investing over there and getting those countries dependent on them and supporting, non-democratic people. And I'm just
like whom?
Well,
we are in a country that supports Saudi Arabia.
Yes, that's true. Right. So
suddenly we have a problem with, superpowers supporting non-democratic people. And let me explain why you shouldn't worry about that. But please continue.
Well, I mean, they're in Africa. They're lending money to countries to build ports and different infrastructure.
To build what?
Port, harbors.
And what's wrong with that?
And, well, because...
Countries that need ports get ports.
But they're making people dependent on... I mean, I know, it's the same thing that we've done, which is horrible around the world.
They are far more humanistic than the United States ever was.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. So...
Let me give you an example. Of course they are peddling for influence.
Yeah.
Yeah? But they are non-interventionist. Absolutely non-interventionist in a way that Europeans, the West, has never managed to fathom.
But I have a feeling they have a longer-term thought process that is more interventionist.
But
anyway,
let's judge what we see. Let's judge what.
Okay.
Let's start at the beginning. The Chinese never asked Apple to go to Shenzhen and produce all the iPhones. It was Steve Jobs that decided that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It was not China that went to Washington, D.C. and demanded that they buy a third of your national debt. If they hadn't bought it, you would be in serious trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number 3. I did allude to this in my talk. If in 2008 China had not cranked up their credit bubble, you would be in a new Great Depression now.
Mm-hmm.
So, China, the United States, and the European Union are absolutely synergistic, and they need one another in a way that if we fail to acknowledge and to nurture, billions of people, including the majority of the people in this country, are going to suffer. When it comes to the influence of China outside its borders, I have to say, firstly, it's quite remarkable that they don't seem to have any military ambitions. Secondly, Africa. I'll give you an example, a specific example. Ethiopia. 2004, because it happened to be there, and I have some first-hand experience of it. They went into Ethiopia. I'll tell you why they went into Ethiopia, because they suspected there was oil. Because China is a major industrial power, but it lacks primary resources. Now, instead of going into Africa with troops, colonially, destroying the country, killing people like the West has done for the last 100 years, what they did was they went to Addis Ababa and they said to the government, we would like, we can see you have problems with your infrastructure, we would like to build some new airports, upgrade your railway system, create a telephone system, and rebuild your roads. And we'll do this all for free. No strings attached. We don't want anything from you. And they did. Why did they do it? Because this is soft power. Because because they knew that if oil is discovered, and it was discovered later, then, of course, the Ethiopian government will be much more open to Chinese oil companies coming there. They have never combined their investment with imperialistic.
Former Mozambican President Samora Machel once said, "If one day you hear Europeans praising me, know that I've betrayed you." Remember those words. I am yet to find a history book about Europeans that can be trusted. I am yet to find a history book where Europeans have not come into Africa and taken from Africa, dispossessed and harmed Africans. I'm yet to find this book, so I'm going to need you to kindly point me to the book that I need to read, where it is that Africans could trust Europeans and they kept their word. That's all I need. We are yet to meet the Europeans that we can trust, that has actually kept their word and has delivered on that promise. We are still working towards structures, we are still working towards relationship building and nation building in order for us to get to the point where you can say that this is hate, because what he says, it's true. So until then, nah.
Like, seriously, lovely, is the fact that this first lady that I staged her video was talking about that my voice is not a land and you cannot colonize it. Like, this actually shook me. You know, these pan-colored people think that we do not know what is going on, or we just have to like forget about what happened and we just keep on trusting them, why they keep on, you know, deceiving us and all of that. So the guy, one question was like, oh, enough of all this Ray and Sis thing that we, you know, often talk about Ray and Sis and you know, privileges and all of that. But without him knowing that we actually live in a society of Ray and Sis, so there is no how a black person will stay in a society without experiencing it one way or the other. So why would you want us to just quit, you know, talking about what is in a constant existence? Okay, you might, you know, want not to talk about it as a pan-colored person because this does not really affect you. So you can't talk about what does not affect you. And when you see other people that this affects and they want to talk about it, you become so defensive and you become like, okay, why are you always talking about races and all of that? There's a video I actually, you know, posted before this, which happens to talk about privilege. You know, these people don't know that, or maybe they know, but they pretend as if that, okay, we don't have any privilege, we are just the way you guys are and all of that, and they do not want to talk about privilege. They don't want to talk about it because they know that they are living under the influence of privilege. And they were talking about how, you know, the wealth of black people are depreciated compared to that of pan-colored. Because what? Because the society, everything about, you know, weight and all of that is being controlled by pan-colored. So why would we even expect to see more of, you know, wealth actually coming from a black person or even a black community? So one thing about these pan-colored people is that they just think that maybe we are naive. We don't know what is happening. We just have to keep on, you know, being so and just listening to what they're saying and not trying to, you know, defend ourselves. They like the fact that they just want to keep on doing whatever, but we shouldn't stand up for ourselves. We shouldn't even speak out. We should just, you know, consume anything that comes on us, like be it Ray and Sis, be it the way that we've been, you know, treated and all of that. Like, they keep on being so uncomfortable anytime anything that has to do with Ray and Sis, colonization and privilege is being mentioned. How would you not want black people to keep on reminding and keep on talking about what they actually went through in the hands of you and your forefathers, which are still going through up to date? Like, you decided to go to people's land, a place that you were never involved. You decided to go there. You decided to colonize these people. After the colonization, you took so many of their resources, so many things that receive favor in the European or Western, you know, till now. And after that, you still take their ancestors with you to actually build your own city, to build your own country that keeps it running till date. And after all of these things that the ancestors have done for you guys and all of that, you guys are still benefiting till date. But anytime anything that has to do with, reparations is being mentioned, you automatically forget that, oh, no, why are we going to do that? Because something like this is something that happened in the past. Something that happened in the past, but you guys are still benefiting it to date. And when we want to talk about how we've been discriminated, how ANC system been broke, a lot of you folk, have to talk about, oh my God, this is just 2024. This something like this does not really exist. Meanwhile, it is still alive till date. It's still existing, still alive in 2024. But when we want to oh my God, oh, we want to talk about it, you guys are, oh, we are too, we want attention. Like, why do we keep on talking about something that has, long past? How would you feel when you keep on beating a child, and when this child decides to cry, you complain that this child is crying? You keep on complaining that this child is crying, but you are the one that keeps hitting the child. So that is how it is. You will not continue to do what your ancestors did, even if we are not still enslaved, but one way or the other, we're still not benefiting. Like, that is it. The world itself is centered around, colonization, privilege, and all of that. And the pan-colored lady that was talking about how Chinese people are going to, Africa, and decided to open one or two things in Africa and all of that. She was like, okay, I know that this is something that we did, but she cannot even talk because she knows that she is not in the place to talk or even to make any kind of complaints. She is not in the place because her own ancestors even did more of what she felt that the Chinese people or whatever is trying to do. Anyways, lovelies, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please, why not share this video? And also, I want to use this medium to say a very big shout out to my newest subscribers, to those people that super chat me to encourage me, to those people that actually share my videos, subscribe, that join my membership. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I cannot take all this love, all these kind gestures for granted. So please share this video, subscribe, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. I've watched up to this extent. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We're just here for educational purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. And I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.